Good morning. My name is Brittany Gorman. I am the Deputy Archivist for the City of Providence, and I've been using Preservica Starter since August, but we've had the program since February. Um, what I'm going to be showing you today is how I've been able to take my recorder of deed indexes for my title researchers and being able to transition them out of visiting me all the time to being able to just go right to the online website to use my records and for their own convenience. So the basic process that we used to do is that a title researcher, who is a person that comes in to do legal work on land or boundary disputes on the land. And there are other facets to that, but that's the main bulk of it. And what they do is when they come in, they're looking for what we call grantee grantor indexes. Grantee is the buyer, grantor is the seller. We have these indexes ranging from 1647 to 1900. So what they would come in to do is look for a certain person in a certain time frame and look up whether they're the grantee or the grantor for this time frame. And then the index would indicate who they're selling to or who they're buying from, and also book and page number and what kind of book it is, whether it's a deed book or a mortgage book. From there, they would ask me whether I've had the book or if the book is in recorder of deeds. It's a long process because sometimes it's not always straightforward in terms of the land, because these grantees and grantor indexes don't indicate the exact date of the sale nor what the exact land purchase is. So these title researchers would have to constantly keep going back and forth between the index and the books that we have in either my department or the recorder of deeds department, which can get hairy because sometimes, some property owners had multiple properties, some up to like 20, some had more, and it just became a lot of work for us to keep going back to the indexes trying to figure out who had what when. So the process I was able to develop was to convert all these indexes into Excels mostly, and it's been able to scan the other half of them and then convert them into PDFs and put them online. So that way they don't always have to continuously come back to my department to see these indexes. So what I'll be showing you today is be showing you the grantee grantor indexes that I've been able to put up online that is helping these title researchers being able to do their job. So this is just the basic Preservica starter. The back end, I would assume, but I can show you the front end real quick. So this is what they're seeing when they come in. The main thing that they are using is the recorder of deeds box. And this is where I've been able to upload the first 12 books in the recorder of deeds series. Like I said previously, we have up to book 227. So eventually I'm hoping to get to that number, but I'm hoping by the end of next year I have the first 50 books available for the title researchers. And then again, because I said earlier, there's the grantees and the grantors, and they don't necessarily know if one or the other sometimes. So if they have like a grantor, they'll be able to go into the grantor section, and from there they can, hopefully they have a time frame, and they'll be able to go into whatever time frame they're looking at. We have it by last name, so we have A to B all the way to Z, but they'll be able to go right into the file here, and because it's a PDF, unfortunately, it takes a little time to load. But they'll be able to go into the PDF. They can either search by name and see what comes up, or they can scroll right to the name that they're looking for. Here we go. So you got the grantor, you got the grantee, and it's showing who's selling. So this is Charlotte Abbey. She has somebody in her family has the power of attorney, and they're selling the property to John F. Dwyer. So the book this sale occurred in is book 128, page 431. So I have this book in my department. So now the title researcher, having known that, can just come right to my department and say, hey, I need book 128. I can go pull that for them, and then they can, read the description and make sure it's the right property that they're looking for, or if it's even the right person that they're looking for. And if it is, then they can take down whatever relevant information that they're looking for, that being like with a picture or just writing down information that they just need very scarcely and going from there. And it works, and it goes both ways. But then you have people like Daniel Abbott here, who has multiple properties. And this is where it gets tricky, because unless the title researcher knows exactly who their grantee is that they're looking for, sometimes the title researcher will have to go through all these books to find out where the property is that they're looking for. And a lot of the time we can narrow it down because these books do have a time frame to them. It's just we won't know the time frame until I open up the book. And this is still a process we're refining to help the title researchers. But for now, it's the only way we can, at least get a bypass on looking up every single name is by trying to go through and find the time frame that the sale occurred. And it doesn't take too long, but it is a process. But like I said, we're still refining it. And as you see, he just has a ton of property going on. And this is just him selling to different people throughout the city. But that's, and this has been helpful because my title researchers don't have to come in and just look through these books constantly. They can just pick the people that they're looking for, come in and just tell me the book and page, or go into the recorder of deeds office and say, hey, I need book 328, page, whatever. And, they'll be able to get that book right away instead of having to come to me first and then going to the other department. So this is just some of the ways that we're helping the title researchers, being able to simplify their job, and so that they can that way they can get their projects done as fast as possible.